to life. Very much mirrors what happened last season. Well, let's just recap exactly what has happened so far in match week 5. Liverpool got off to a great start with a 3-1 win away at Wolves. Aston Villa with the same scoreline, firing 3 past Crystal Palace. It was Fulham with a 1-0 victory over Luton. Manchester United falling to a Brighton side. They were simply brilliant, weren't they? We'll actually touch on that game a little bit later on in our post-match analysis. Tottenham left it late, but they beat Sheffield United 2-1. West Ham fell to Manchester City, the champions, who really turned up. They actually went behind in the game, but ended up winning 3-1. And Newcastle kept the clean sheet. Fist pump from Al that you can't see right now, but they won 1-0 in the end after a string of defeats, actually 3 defeats in a row, so a big moment for them. And there's confirmation of what we've seen today, a goalless draw between Bournemouth and Chelsea, and Arsenal, to the delight of Ian Wright, who fist pumps as well, kept the clean sheet, and they took all 3 points. We've got one more match to look forward to in match week 5, and that's Nottingham Forest, hoping they can build on that win before the international break to Chelsea, and they're at home to Burnley. So what does all of this mean for the Premier League table then? Well, let's have a quick look. Here is the bottom half of the table. Everton, there's confirmation. They're in the drop zone. This season is very much mirroring what's happened the last couple of seasons. They've only taken 1 point from their opening 5 games. And actually, the bottom of the table really shows how tough it is for those newly promoted teams to get into the Premier League and to stay in the Premier League, because it's Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton that join them, having had a very tough start. Sheffield United, of course, just hovering above the drop. As for the top half, well, Arsenal fans will be delighted because the 3 points means that they are into the top 4. They are level in points with Tottenham and Liverpool. Don't forget, the North London derby is next weekend between Arsenal and Tottenham, so that is going to make that a juicier fixture. And Manchester City, well, flying high, the perfect start to this season with 5 wins from their opening 5 games. Well, some beautiful one-touch passes before that goal was delivered. Just how good was the goal, Wrighty?
Yeah, it was a great goal, and it was something that I had to do, because I think it would have been futile to continually put the ball into that box for Everton to continue to head it away. So for them to continue to take those short ones, and they built it up, and it was very well constructed in the end. What
impressed you most about it, Alan?
Just the way they moved it at pace, because that's I think was the thing that was missing in the first half, other than trying to make the pitch bigger, which they tried to do that, but also it was like moving 1-2 touch, because that's how you're able to beat a team that has a low block, that gets everyone behind the ball in numbers and tries to frustrate you. You do that and you beat it by moving the ball quickly.
Well, let's have a look at the goal, shall we, and just see exactly how it unfolded, because it was beautiful in the build-up, Righty.
Yeah, it was, yeah, but like I say, it was a short corner, and, you know, you want to pull them out. You want to pull them out of position. It's great play here from Fabio Vieira to keep it moving. And then from here, look how quickly they're passing it. Everton can't get near them. Everybody's just one step too slow. And that is what we said at half-time that they need to do, pass the ball quicker. It's just perfect. It's perfect that they got the opportunity to do it at a corner where they're already in that third of the pitch, passing the ball, great movement off the ball from everybody. And then Trossard with the outside. That's a fantastic finish, coming across him on his left foot. You know, it's very underrated, this finish. Brilliant. And then open his foot. That's fantastic. Yeah. Brilliant goal.
And from a defender's point of view, is there anything that the defence could have done better here?
No, but you know, it also comes down to the way your team is set up, right? You start the game, you know that you have to come back in the sense of the wingers for Everton, but then Trossard is one of the guys that comes on, and he wants to prove a point also, because when you're sitting on the bench, you always want to make sure that your manager gets a feeling like, listen, this is the guy that I might have to start the next time, and this is what Trossard kind of implement a little bit more pressure on him.
Yeah, and with so much competition now in this Arsenal squad, how important was it that he delivered today?
Well, it's important because, like the manager's saying, he wants to make sure that there's competition for places. It's what we're seeing with Raya and we're seeing with Ramsdale. You know, you want players playing at that level, knowing that when they come in, they have to bring something. They have to do something because, like I was saying, he needs something different. And what's got to happen is everybody's got to understand in this Arsenal side that they're all going to have to play a part if they're going to try and beat City, or whoever's going to, or I should say, to try and win it. So people have got to come in and they've just got to focus on what they're doing the best they can. And if it's good enough to keep other people out of the team, then brilliant. But other than that, I believe that whoever's playing well at the time, the form, get in the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting when you look at Arsenal now this season, it seems like they're finding to beat teams that perhaps might have been a bit more difficult in the past, but they have to have a plan A and plan B, and they've shown that they have that.
Yeah, well, I think that's what we were trying to say before the game is that because they did really well last year, ultimately fell at the final hurdle. But I think a lot of people sort of expected that because of the size of the squad. But now he's got different options.
Quality.
He's certainly improved the squad, but he's also changing one or two things which he believes he has to do because they got so close last year that ultimately that wasn't good enough. So he has to go again and do it differently this time. City have gone again and improved again. So that's exactly what Arsenal do, and they might have to do it a slightly different way, and that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, it is. And also, I guess with Arsenal and where they're at, because of how successful they were last season, Mario, they're almost the team that other teams want to beat. So I guess psychologically, the game is approached slightly differently, and they seem to be handling that pressure well.
Yeah, because they're very calm now compared to what we know. Like, okay, the best time of Arsenal is their calmness, right? And when they weren't that calm was when they were not as balanced the way you mentioned the names already. And now they have everything in place. So it comes down now, look, we looked at a game and you see in the middle of the park how they play the game, you know, Odegaard, Wright, how they control it and they're making sure that they keep the tempo really high. We have seen the game in the beginning and then the second game. And that was the difference. They always keep on penetrating. And I feel like when you always believe that you can score a goal, you will play to the last minute. And some teams stop. But Arsenal, similar to what Man City has, they will not stop to the last minute to make sure that they keep on scoring.
Now, in all of this, there's a few players we haven't actually spoken about at all. One of them being Declan Rice, who, of course, had a phenomenal game against Manchester United. But how good was he today?
Well, again, the fact that Declan's quiet and we're not speaking about him proves that he's gone about his job and he's done it very well. And that's exactly what he does. And what we saw against Man United when he got all those headlines, because he scored the goal, but he's been playing similar to that. Declan is 8.5, 9 out of 10 every week. And when he plays like he did this week, and he doesn't score, this is exactly what he done against Man United. He goes about it quietly and efficiently, stumps things out, progresses the ball, you know what I mean, defensively, he does everything. You're always going to get that out of him.
But is he not the perfect example? When people sometimes talk about captaincy of a team, right? They say, your captain is this. But he is, I think, a captain without the armband.
Yeah, he leads by he played with his example.
You don't need the armband all the time to be the leader in a team. This is one of the
things we've got now, Mario. We've got a lot more. We've got a few more players in our team that are leader potential.
Yes,
they've got that kind of vibe about them. Whereas people used to always talk about us as we've got no leaders in our team. We've got a few now.
Yeah, and you've got more options as well, as you've been saying, including in the goalkeeping department. We saw David Raya start. We said that it was a big talking point before the match that Arteta chose to start him, and he kept the clean sheet. That's a big moment for the goalkeeper.
Big moment for him and a big moment for the manager because it justifies what he's trying to do. I'm sure that Ramsdale would have been really disappointed to have been left out. Whether there's going to be the rotation in the Champions League, we'll have to wait and see. But I feel as if that's the one position where you need a regular, if you can, because of the understanding that you need to have with your back four, who and what you are, what you're going to do, the decisions that you're going to make. I mean, Mario will tell you more about that than I can, but certainly from a defensive point of view, I would think that. But this is what he did really well, without being spectacular, without pulling off. He actually gave his defence a lot of relief at times when he came to collect those balls, and for a defender, must have been that is fantastic to take the pressure off him.
You know why he's also saying it? There was a moment when I had to mark him. And I was happy when the goalkeeper came out. Because, you know, like when you're standing next to someone that is good in the air, like Alan was, I was holding him really close to me, right? But the thing was, you were happy when your goalkeeper comes above you. You're like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Because you know you don't have to do that battle. Yeah. Because those are things where they are waiting for, and you are coming as a defender. No matter what you do, you want to make sure it doesn't happen. And I think what he just said, the calmness for the defense is always to have security behind you. And you want to make sure that the change, it's nice to give somebody the confidence and play him, but you want to pick one to play all the time.
And I know what I was saying about, you know, the familiarity. But if you've got two goalkeepers who are capable of coming and claiming those things, and that gives you that calmness. So then what you're hoping now is that it doesn't matter with the defenders which one of those goalkeepers they're using. Because what they know is that both of them, if it's there to come and claim, they'll do that. And that is where you feel you're most comfortable, when you know your goalkeeper is going to come and he's going to get it and he's going to calm everything down.
So we've got 2 big games coming up for Arsenal.
Yeah.
First game in the Champions League. I mean, the last time they were in the Champions League was 2016-17. So this is a massive moment for the club. And then the North London derby at the weekend. So what does the goalkeeping situation look like?
Well, it looks to me like Ramsdale will probably play on Wednesday against PSV. And then it will come down to then what Mikel's going to have to deal with now is every week, every other week now, people are going to be thinking, well, is it going to be Ramsdale or is it going to be Raya? You know, the main thing is that none of them...